What up, what up? James Harden is a Clipper, fellas. Happy Halloween at 1:30 Central Time, 12:30 Mountain Time, where I'm at. James Harden was traded to the LA Clippers. And we've been talking about this for months now. This was the team that Harden wanted to go to. This is the team that wanted James Harden. And this is really the only team that really got talked about when it came to James Harden. I mean, sometimes there was that buzz about maybe the Heat pulling a three-way trade with the Clippers and the Blazers to get Dame, and Harden goes to Blazers. I don't know. But this is really the only two teams that were linked together to make this trade possible. And it happened. It happened at the butt crack of dawn this morning. No, at literally midnight. And why? Why did it take so long? And how good does this make the LA Clippers? And we're going to talk about it right quick in a bite-sized fashion. Just my initial reaction. I just woke up just a few hours ago. Just on my way to work. You know, I got to make this video real quick. So, I'm invested in the Clippers right now. Russell Westbrook's my favorite player, right? So I've been following the Clippers. I just went to the Clippers game on last Friday against the Jazz, where Russ missed the last shot. Okay, it was honestly, the Jazz were kind of dominating that game for the good portion of it. Clippers found their way back in it. And, of course, we all know that meme now with Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook. And, hey, the Clippers have looked good outside of that game. And of course, it has to be the game that I went to, right? Come on, bro. My favorite player only scores 4 points, only takes 4 shots, one of which being that last second shot to possibly tie it, send it to OT. And I mean, I can't blame Russ. I don't think he took a jumper the entire half. He only took 4 shots in the whole game. Still got 8 rebounds, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. We're talking about the LA Clippers as a whole here. So I'm invested, though. I'm invested. And what do I think now as a partial fan? I've always loved the Russ-Harden combo. It's always been fun. Now we got to see what we can do to really make it work with Kawhi and Paul George. Now we got 2 more stars. This might bump James Harden to be the 3rd guy. And I think it should bump James Harden to be the 3rd guy. You know, I think he's got to say, hey, this is PG and Kawhi's team. I'm just coming in now. Let's see what we can do together. You know, I want to be that extra threat off ball. I want to be able to make the plays. I mean, he should be the main ball handler, right? We saw him as a point guard last year, and he did phenomenal. Helped Joel Embiid win an MVP. A great regular season guy. Had the 40 bomb in the playoffs against the Celtics. I mean, he is definitely still an elite level player, right? We know that. We know that. And that's part of why the Sixers took so long to trade him, is I don't think they really did want to trade him for the package they got. They sent out James Harden, Flip, whoever the freak, and PJ Tucker for Nick Batum, Marcus Morris, Rocco, 2 first-rounders, one in 2028, one in 2027 from the Thunder, the least valuable of the Thunders, and the pick swap. I mean, like, that's not a package. That's not a great package. I mean, Rocco didn't get playing minutes last year. He's starting to get some this year. I mean, Marcus Morris hasn't done anything the past 2 years, really. And Nick Batum he's gotten minutes, but he hasn't really been effective in those minutes. And we know that this is his last year, all right? He said he's retiring after the Olympics. So 2 years. He's got 2 years left in him. And so none of these pieces excite me. None of these pieces excite Sixers. I'm sure of it. But they had to do what they had to do because of these new rules. We already know that they're getting investigated by the NBA for arresting James Harden, how much they did with the new anti-arrest rule, whatever. They were supposed to hurt the Clippers, and now it's out here helping the Clippers. Look at that. Good job, Kawhi. Load management works in your favor. We got him. We got James Harden. And PJ Tucker for some crap. I mean, no disrespect. Love those guys. Shout out to them. They're great NBA players, but they're all towards the end of their career. They gave up nothing. That really hurts. The picks, maybe. Because who knows how valuable those picks will be in 2027, 2028. But that's not what Daryl Morey wanted to do. But if they're getting investigated, they're going to get fined. They had to do something. The pressure was on. And it worked out. Patience is a virtue for the Clippers in this case. Now, How good does this make the Clippers? Again, I already said that the Clippers have looked really, really good in every game outside the Jazz game. And they've looked good. They've dominated against the Spurs. They dominated the Blazers. And they had a good game with the Jazz. Now they got some good competition. I can't remember who they play tonight on Halloween night. But they haven't played the best of teams. Those have been some pretty weak Western Conference teams. We got to see them go up against some real competition now. And who knows what that's going to look like. And it's going to take some time to, kind of glue this team together, right? These guys have all been the best player on a team at one point. Russ, 2016 MVP. We know what PG did on the Pacers. We know what PG did on the Thunder. He had an MVP runner-up year, right? Maybe third. Kawhi. We know what Kawhi is. One of the top 20 players of all time, probably. James Harden, he's won an MVP. I mean, we know how many points he can put up in a game. Like, these guys are all used to being the man. They're all used to having the ball in their hands, and now they have to figure it out. Russ really started to figure it out at the end of last year when he joined the Clippers, and now we got to hope the same thing for Harden. I mean, he started to figure it out last year as well, becoming more of a pass-first guy and led the league in assists. Help Joel become the MVP. And I think he could do the same thing here in LA. He just has to be willing to not play so much ISO ball, right? And I think when he needs to, he can, right? Maybe he leads the second unit and plays a ton of ISO ball. Maybe he becomes that assist guy, right? He's a great playmaker. We know that. So the team just really has to come together. And I think if they do, peak Clippers, they're fighting for a finals. They're fighting for a championship. Don't at me. We really got to see them get tested first before I can be confident in saying that. But this is, again, my initial reactions, fellas. So let me know what you think. Do you agree? How good do you think the Clippers could be? Again, I think peak finals, worst. I could see it being so bad they don't even make the playoffs. So there's a lot of in between. We got to see what kind of attitude James Harden comes in with. We got to see what kind of role Russell Westbrook's going to fill. Because, Russell Westbrook was dominant in the 2 wins. Russell Westbrook looked really good. In the loss against the Jazz, he didn't do much of anything. He had 8 rebounds, 4 points, 4 assists. He needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Kawhi and Paul George, they're going to figure out their thing. Really, they got to stay healthy as well. Injuries have been a problem for them, obviously. We know that. But I think bringing in PJ Tucker is a great thing as well. Gives them a very versatile defense. They can play Zubac at the 5. They can play Plumlee at the 5. They can play PJ Tucker at the 5. And any of those guys can play the 4 as well. So it depends on what they want to do, what their second unit is going to be. Who gets pushed to the bench? Terrence Mann, Russell Westbrook? Maybe James Harden leads the second unit? He's going to be a starter, but maybe he plays a lot of his minutes with the second guys? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe. We're going to be talking a lot of hoops here. A lot of football still. We're loving it. Like the video. Help me out, fellas. But Clippers, let's get this chip, bro.